Today we're taking a look at your new favorite EQ plugin, the SLP 538 EQ from Purafied Audio. I don't review a lot of EQ plugins on this channel, because, well, they all work. It's just such a personal preference thing. Some reviewers talk about which SSL EQ is the most accurate or which Neve is the most Nevey, but man, I just don't care. When it comes to EQ, my favorites are ones that help me make good decisions and make those decisions quickly. Purified describes the 538 as being for people who like to actually finish mixes. I think that sums it up pretty well. The SLP 538 is based on an SSL 5000 EQ, which, if you're like me, you've probably never heard of. Apparently the 5000 series were primarily built for the film industry, hence you don't see too much about them in the music production world, but if you're familiar with any SSL style EQ, you'll feel right at home with this thing. It's got 4 bands. The high and low can be set to a shelf or a bell. The 2 middle bands have 2 bandwidth settings, and each has 11 selectable preset frequencies and plus or minus 10 decibels of gain in 1.5 decibel intervals. I love that. I worked on a Neve 8058 console for quite a few years, and that was one of my favorite things about those EQs. Being limited to a handful of frequencies and 2 Q values made it so much easier and faster to find the settings you like, to be more confident in those settings, and to move on to the next thing instead of agonizing over whether you should boost at 7 or 7.5K, or if the Q should be set to 1.1 or 1.5. And that holds true for the 538 EQ as well. It's just so fast to dial in your sounds. Unlike the Neve console, however, if the pre-selected frequencies or 1.5 decibel increments really aren't working for you, you can turn the step feature off, giving you continuously variable control over the frequency and gain. My absolute favorite feature on this EQ, though, has to be the auto gain. I don't know why more EQs don't have this. By turning the overall volume down as you boost and turning things up as you cut, it makes it a million times easier to make good decisions since you're not being tricked by massive volume differences. I'm going to bring up a snare track that could use a little help to show you how ridiculously easy it is to dial in sounds with the 538. So what did that take me, like 8 seconds? The 538 also has a set of filters which are actually resonant high and low pass filters, meaning they boost a little bit right around the cutoff frequency. This is perfect for adding a little body while removing the junk below it, or adding a little sparkle to the top end while taming harsh frequencies above that. Let's go back to our snare example so you can hear that in action. Yeah, I love that. It just adds a little extra fullness to the fundamental of the snare, while cutting out any unwanted rumble. Then the last unusual yet incredibly cool feature on this is the Thd knob. This allows you to adjust how much saturation and color you get out of this EQ. With the knob set to 0, it's the same as the hardware unit they modeled, but you can either increase or decrease the amount of color to fit the sound you're going for. Let's once again check out this knob on our snare drum, and I'm going to drive the input of the plugin extra hard to make the difference more obvious. This has quickly become one of my favorite EQs. It's great for quickly dialing in sounds while tracking, and I think it'd be absolutely perfect for anybody who finds themselves endlessly tweaking EQs. So, like they say on the Purified website, you can actually finish your mixes. If you want to try this EQ out for yourself, I'll put a link to Purified's website in the description down below. And be sure to check out this playlist for more awesome plugins I think you'll love. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.